All right, so I'm gonna skip the upload. Well, I already skipped the upload, you guys saw that. Because we are getting both this car and now this car ready for the dyno day tomorrow with Jack. So I spoke on the phone with Jack and he thinks that random misfire that I'm having with the Skyline, my personal Skyline, has something more to do with my injectors. So since I don't have the ability to get them clean quickly, D-Strix is actually sending me a second set, so I have a backup set to keep a set continuously clean. But in addition to that, I'm gonna go through the fuel system, make sure everything's clean. This car, right now Alberto's finishing up some wiring and Tommy's boost leak testing it, which we did find a few boost leaks. So we've learned our lesson about doing that before the dyno and not after. But did you tighten this clamp up down here?
No, yeah. I'm gonna check it again to make sure that this is.
Let me tighten this one first. Should have filmed, but it was mega pain to disassemble this whole system because of the limited area. I had to disassemble everything in pieces in order to get the pumps out and to clean the filters, but they weren't that dirty anyway. But I've cleaned all the filters again, and I'm gonna take the injectors out. I'm doing a quick oil change on the Skyline, and Ignite actually sent me over some of the oil that he recommends to a lot of the guys that are on their team. That's HPL. Specifically made for boosted cars, and it seems pretty cool. I don't really know too much about it, but he said to give it a try, and it should be good for like higher PM and extreme load. So we're gonna give this a shot in the Skyline, since this is probably one of the most wearing engines we have because of how loose the ring gap is. And just been kind of tidying up this car and doing a quick bolt check and everything. So me and Tommy are inspecting the situation for the fuel pump. Dude, can you show the situation? I'll hold the light.
I've never seen an assembly like this. Dude, where's the fuel pump? How are we gonna get that? Seriously. Do we have to drop the tank? What? Is that the inside of the tank? I don't even understand.
It's gone forever.
Wait, did you drop it?
No.
You sure?
I mean, I'm kind of sure.
Can you pull it? What'll happen?
There's a hose and wires.
What if you pull it out? Will it come?
It's gonna break something.
Oh, this isn't looking
like it's
good.
Plugged in there, so I can undo these plugs and the hose.
Ooh, I'll call Jack. Yeah. Who are you gonna call? Jack. Oh boy, late night, getting the cars ready. Alberto was able to get everything to work somehow. We had diff issues where my bearing was shot, which I think I mentioned, but we got the wrong bearings because the front bearing that we used. It's 215. That's early. That's early. And it's dyno day. This thing's about to get loaded up in the trailer. I'm gonna shoot over in my R32 because I'm gonna have Jack take a look at a couple things. I got a set of new injectors in there. This thing sounds so sick. Came together so nice. Just finished up doing the fuel pump relay this morning just to make sure to get enough voltage up there. But she's looking sick. Slight bad news with this car. With the brand new injectors, it's still doing the weird like Misfire thing, and I'm starting to think that it might be more of an actual internal engine issue rather than like spark or fuel related. Sigh. Been a minute since we've been here. All the homies work here. Stoked. I got here with the R32 before we can even get the R33 out of the trailer. Jack's helped me try to dial in. You think it's injector lag going on with it?
See, it's like a little bit of tip-in lag on the throttle, so I'm gonna take a look and see if I can spice it up a little bit.
It's just very weird with like throttle response and stuff, but we're gonna go and load the R33 now. How'd you get the throttle a little bit better?
Oh,
I'll have to. Let me show it real quick, actually.
Spice on it. And
so what's funny is Jack actually made it better, but then he gave it back to me and turned the car off, so it went away.
I'm not familiar with the save option on this, so it didn't save. So I tested him out effectively. He went and got in it. The changes didn't take effect yet, and he says, "Oh, it's about the same." But then I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I tried, you know." And then he's like, "Wait, did you save it?" I'm like, "No." So then he goes, "Oh, you had to do this." So he saved it. Sure as hell.
So it revs a lot nicer now. Before, I would notice it a lot if I was doing like a rev match downshift because it wouldn't.
Right, you could flip it.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, you want to give a quick rundown on what you did there?
Yeah, so basically the whole thing with E85, especially with cars that have a very high response rate, is you need to increase the amount of fuel that's being delivered during transient events. So in layman's terms, accelerator pump richness needed to be increased, and which is not really a big deal, but you increase the amount of fuel that's being delivered during throttle movements, and that in turn usually gets the response a lot better. So there's a fine line. At a certain point it's too much, but we'll have to figure that out in real world event. So
and what's Roberto gonna take a look at in regards to the Misfire, something with the cam angle sensor?
Yeah, so Roberto's gonna take a look at the play that's in the cam angle sensor to see if it's wearing out. There's a notch that the cam drives the cam angle sensor with, and if there's any kind of play in that at all, you start to get oscillations or movement in that, and it can affect how the timing's being delivered. So we're gonna look and see if that's.
I'll go grab some tools. All right, on today's episode of Jack, is it junk?
No. It's not junk. I feel like this whole episode is gonna be Jack, is it not junk? Because it's definitely not junk.
All right, all right.
It's not bad.
I'm so excited for this thing.
Yeah. Get with me after we're done. I'll reevaluate.
Okay.
You remember the time that you said that you don't want to mess with RBs?
And look at us here at the home of the best 2JZs on the planet with 2 RB cars. Shake my head. We got Alberto and Roberto in the same place.
Wait, hold on. You need that stuff?
It's time. So apparently with my R32, something weird is going on where the actual mechanical timing with the crank pulley is reading 50 degrees advance when it's at TDC, which is very weird. So you were thinking that maybe it jumped, like it broke the Woodruff key on one of those launches? Because it all started at the drag strip.
Could have shared it, yeah. It's a possibility.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't have the same syndrome as my BMW had.
Yeah. I'll be Adam McWoodruff now instead of Big McWoodruff.
Welcome to the Woodruff Key Club. Woodruff Key is in my tool.
Bro, that sounds kind of cool. The Woodruff Key Club sounds exclusive.
It's not cool.
You guys, I've definitely mentioned it, but the car is flex fuel, so the first thing Jack's gonna do is go in and get a good 93 map on the car. We don't have a ton of gas in. The idea is to kind of get a really solid tune on that, and then once you put in the 85 to get the 85 content up, you can do an 85 map and then a little blend between them. But Jack's shooting for somewhere around 400 wheel on pump gas, which would be a very, very fun and like simple car for people to drive. Me and Jack were just talking, and if the car does go to a state that only has like 91 octane, because 93 is in every state, then what we could do is just like remote in and have them go to a dyno, which obviously we'll pay for to make sure that the car is safe on their fuel. All right, so on 93 octane, the car made, drum roll, 356 horsepower. We're getting a little bit of like noise, so that's why the graph doesn't look super smooth. You guys can see that top one. Oh wait, yeah, made 356. All right, so we kept it very, very safe and reliable. Do you wanna explain a little bit?
Yeah, basically, so we're right at 20 PSI, where it sits right now, and about 17, 18 degrees of timing. It's really, I consider this pump gas safe. This is gonna be able to go all over the place, 11.5 to 1 air-fuel ratio, keeping it pretty rich, keeping it pretty light. We don't wanna push it too hard on pump gas, that wasn't the point. So this will be able to go all over the country, no problem. So whoever gets this car, 93 octane, but light it up with the 85. Please.
Yeah. But it is good too, because there can be inconsistencies at different gas stations with how good the gas actually is too. So
exactly.
If we tune this right on the limit, that's just more chance of it causing issues.
I'm not a fan of on the limit tuning unless the person tells me push it.
Push it.
I don't
Push
care
it,
if
Jack.
blows.
Jack, push it.
Great.
Looks like first pull on the 85, and he already broke 400. Not too bad. So that might be the best like safe setup if someone gets this car that isn't really familiar with driving fast cars, because that's literally wastegate pressure, 20 PSI, and the car made 400 wheel. So that's sick. I definitely think we're gonna break the 500 mark. just picked up like 30 wheel with 2 pounds of boost and a little bit of timing. So we're at 22 pounds. We're already at 440 wheel. That's crazy. I don't think so. I really want to drive this thing tomorrow, so Alberto's going to do his best, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it is just a Woodruff key, which we have extras of. And then I could actually take this to HP Logic tomorrow, and they could go over it at the shop down there, but I don't know. It's kind of like a lot of stuff up in the air with it. He had to steal a pin for the boost controller on the other car. All right, now you're on the spot.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, it's okay. At least if you hit your shins, it'll be on camera.
My hands up?
Yep.
I got it. I got it.
I felt the whole Dyno thing.
Really?
Yeah, you're a big boy.
Big word up.
Yeah, CrossFit.
Meanwhile, Tommy's playing slots.
I'm practicing, man.
So Jack's got the boost controller. Took a little bit of sorting out to get it pinned correctly into the Haltech, but already at 472, almost 400 foot-pounds of torque. How much boost that? That was 1 extra pound? What? Maybe because it's cooler too, it picked up more. 23 pounds. The car made 472 wheel. That's absurd. We're thinking maybe because it cooled down, it has much less heat soak, so getting a little bit cooler IATs probably helped get that number. What? So oh my god. This thing is sick. -21 horsepower? Negative 21 horsepower? Negative 100. What? It's so fast that the dyno doesn't read high enough. All right, so he's cranking it up to around like 27, 28, and this is gonna be the last pull. So it looks like, because of the fact that, oh, I guess you can't see it, but because of the stock cams, it looks like it's falling off a little bit earlier than my car that has aftermarket cams. So we're kind of hitting peak power, and then it's tapering off a little bit. So we'll see if he's able to hit our number. So close. 493. Come on, Jack. That's what I was talking about the power kind of tapering off a little bit here. Told Alberto we need 7 horsepower. His life depends on it. So one fan was actually off, so the car was probably heat soaking a little bit more than it should. So I know there's probably going to be people wondering, why don't we do two-step or any sort of launch control or flames or pops? I don't know if you want to fill them in or I can fill them in. On the R32 GTR engine, the crank collar is kind of a weak point. I don't know if you want to go into more detail.
Right, basically what happens is the oil pump is driven off of the crankshaft with a collar, and that collar has basically a certain amount of strength, I guess is the best way to put it. So the factory collar is susceptible to shearing and having a problem once you start to use two-step because of the harmonics that are created during a two-step event. You get a lot of vibration and it can crack it. You do that, lose oil pressure, it's over.
which is kind of interesting to talk about because on my R32, I think the reason why I broke that woodruff key is probably because of two-step.
We're drag racing.
Now, I have an extended crank collar in my car and I would have liked to do it on this, but to do that you have to pull the crankshaft, you have to go to a machine shop and get everything professionally done. And once you start opening up the engine, as you guys know, it's hard to kind of keep things simple. So I wanted to keep it simple, and I knew that if we did any sort of two-step, it'd probably be fine. I'm sure you do it on R32s.
I do. I mean, it works, but you don't want to try it too much, and then if you do it a lot, you are definitely going to at some point have a failure.
And not knowing who the car is going to go to, some people are easily influenced by people hyping them up in parking lots and might sit at it too long. Like
by Dusty.
You really got to be nice with it. And I know, like, I don't even do it on my cars because I know I'll probably go over the top and I'll probably end up breaking something. So to keep it safe, we're not doing two-step, we're not doing anti-lag or launch control. It doesn't need it. It's got crazy schooling turbo.
We want the person who gets this car to enjoy it, not to be scared of it.
Yeah, or not to break on them.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, this car is going to be scary.
Oh, it's gonna be scary.
Yeah.
But don't be scared of it. I mean, don't be scared of it breaking.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to be able to get in it, have fun, enjoy it.
How do you feel about this 3071 Gen 2?
That thing spools and hits so hard. I'm impressed.
You thinking about getting rid of those twins?
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I want to try. I want to play with that G25 stuff.
Dude, they're sick.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I'm getting full boost, 4,000 RPM, really quick. I mean, Dusty's got two turbos that don't spool anywhere near as quick as this, but I'm making boost at like 55. So an extra 1,000 RPM earlier, it hits hard.
Wait, so Dusty, you make what for peak power? Like 600, 620?
630, yeah, 630 to 650, depending on the fuel and stuff.
So if we're able to get my car fixed tonight, if me and Alberto are able to get the woodruff key done, it would be really interesting if we have time to throw our cars back to back on the dyno.
That would
RB25 single versus R32 twin. And just see how they like kind of stack against each other with torque and spool and everything.
Yeah, torque-wise, I know you're gonna have me for sure.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see that.
Mine's a torque monster. I make 550 foot-pounds of torque. What you got? 200?
Not that.
No, just playing.
Not that.
Yeah.
I think torque-wise, I'm like 450, somewhere in that range.
That's still really solid. Honestly, with my rear-wheel drive car, I'd much rather have probably less torque, which we could tune out, but for drifting, it's nice to have all that torque to light up the wheels.
You want it.
But for like going in a straight line, having all that torque just like hitting so hard just fries the tires, to where if you have a car kind of like my Evo where we tried to tone down the torque and just have it kind of ramp and hold, then it hooks better and it doesn't just fry the tires off. So I think it would theoretically be faster if you're not a good driver where you're able to modulate the throttle to keep the boost from coming on like a light switch.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Drifting, you want all the torque. Drag racing, you want a nice gradual application until I mean, you have to. There's traction limits.
Yeah.
If your traction unlimited, give it all it's got.
Yeah.
But most people aren't.
Yeah.
We're not top fuel drag.
Yeah. Sadly.
Well, let's make this thing.
Dude, 500 or bust, man.
Do it right now. This run right now.
Looks like we did it. 514 and 430 foot-pounds of torque at about 28 psi. That's a nice looking curve, my guy. You think it was the extra 2 degrees of timing?
Yeah, well, it's a combination of everything. It didn't lose power.
It cooled down a little?
Yeah. So that was what I would call a hot run.
Yeah.
That's a hot run.
What I think is funny, Jack was telling me that we wouldn't be able to get past 450 wheel because of fuel pump being limited, but that DW400 came in clutch.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, we weren't leaning out and we're over 500, so right about at the limit. For like an in-tank, one fuel pump, like, that's pretty legit.
I'll tell you, it's
on the 85, that's the big catch, because you need way more.
We're over 90% duty cycle on the injectors, so I think if we get a little bit spicier, we're gonna want a second fuel pump.
Yeah. Thing is so cool. I think I want to make a proper first reaction video to this to driving this car like tomorrow, but what I am gonna do at the very end of this video, I might include a pull, maybe. Dude, listen to this thing. Oh my god, dude, this thing is so rad. It sounds so cool.
I was not expecting that.
Why does it sound so cool? It's so high pitched. Why? Why can't mine be like this? It has a lot of grip too.
Why you got so much grip? Sounds so cool.
Oh, the gas just went flying.
Oh my god, you're gonna kill us, Adam.
This thing's sick. Dude, this thing makes the best noises.
That blowout kicks in so hard. More, more. Spool harder. Yes. That was really cool.
I'm not giving this car away. It's mine. Oh, I get to drive this car for 10 more days before I have to give it away. Haha.
In 1 mile, turn right onto Judge Road.
You love doing that, huh? Pop, 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 pop.
I learned from the best, brother. The car's insane. Dude, you killed it.
Could not believe it. I'm watching you drive away, and every gear you're just tearing the tires up.
Does it sound cool?
That's amazing.
Dude, it sounds sick.
And you hit the limiter under that tunnel?
Dude.
Oh my god.
Dude, that's the stuff we live for.
That's it.
So, if you guys don't already know who Jack is, Jack's always tuning crazy GTRs and stuff. Make sure to go check out his channel. You wanna plug your channel in?
Yeah, it's YouTube. Just search for HP Logic or YouTube/Jack Cecil.
So the hopes are that we can get my R32 back together tonight. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not because we've been really tired some nights. I don't know if Alberta's gonna wanna work on it with me, but hopefully can get that car together and then maybe we'll go visit HP Logic tomorrow. That'd be very cool. But car's phenomenal. I have a lot of stuff I want to say about it, but I want to save it for another video when I can actually have daylight and can make a direct comparison, maybe drive both cars back to back. But dude, it's sick. So
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you enjoyed
Great end to a great day.
it. That's it. Let's go get some food.
Some cheddars.